Hello, welcome to Scrap Time. My name is Christine, and in this video I'm going to be showing you my little scrapbook I made while I was at Walt Disney World. Now, my previous video to this was me preparing to go and making a kit, and I just want to say that some of those items I took were really heavy. I think if I was to do it again, I would not bring the watercolor pencil crayons because those were quite heavy, and I wouldn't bring my stapler. I only used it, I think, once in the book, and it was a weight. So when you're making a kit to bring with you, really feel how heavy it is and see what you can get rid of. But anyway, I'm going to show you what I made, and I am so glad I did this because I would have come home with all this stuff and it would have ended up in an envelope just like my last few visits. So first off, here on the edge, I have all these really cute beads. And when I stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge, they have activities that are cultural as well as about the animals that you can go to. And then as a little reward, you get a bead and they make this bead string for you. So I thought that's a really cute little souvenir. While I was there, there was the Festival of the Arts as well as the Flower and Garden Festival was starting. And so I got the little gift cards for each of them, and they come with on these little things here. And so I just attached them to the outside of the book. This here was actually a handle from a popcorn bucket I got. So I cut it off to add on. This was wrapped around my gift card for the Festival of the Arts, so I added that. Here, this was from Festival of the Arts, and this was packaging. I bought a box with a couple figures, and I just cut them out to add them to the front. So as I mentioned, I'd love to pick up park maps, and so I have some in the book, but I wanted to keep the actual map in the way it comes, just because the parks change so much that, like, looking back on it years later, it's always fun to see what's changed and what used to be there. And so I started with my tickets, and then I stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge, so I put in the map and the room. I did a little doodles. There was these were like on the doors, and there were some pictures in the room, and I added my room key. Unfortunately, all the room keys look exactly the same this year, so I have the same room key over and over again because I did move around. But then I did Wilderness Explorers. I didn't put all my receipts in, but I put some of the receipts because the prices change, as you know, from year after year. So sometimes it's interesting looking back to see how much things cost. We played bingo at the resort, so I put in one of my little bingo cards I had. And then when I collected stickers, I just added them in. So for the Festival of the Arts, they had their own little passport. And so I tore out the pages of some of the food I ate and added it in as well. And then I had done a drawing class, so I cut it out, put it in. So here I cut out the Hollywood Studios map and added it in. And I did my little journaling every day of what I did, what I ate, where I went. And it just gives me some idea to look back on. Now, some days I didn't have as much to add in, so I just wrote. This was from the big mural at the Contemporary. And so this is one of the only times I actually used the watercolor pencil crayons, and that's why it's not something I would take on the next trip. During the Festival of the Arts, I met a couple artists, so I had them sign the pictures that they had made. These are some postcards. And the reason I put them in here is that we have like so much Disney art around the house that I probably wouldn't put this in a frame, but this way I still get the image and I have it in my book that I can keep. And this was by the same artist. Here I had moved to Bay Lake, so I put in the hotel piece that they gave me, and then a few receipts. This was from the Epcot passport, so I just put some of the stickers throughout the book. Then I did Wilderness Explorers, and so you get stickers that look like patches. So I cut them out of the book and just added them in on this page. And because it was double-sided, I used the page so you could see the stickers that were on the back as well. By now, Gemma has arrived, and it was Valentine's Day. And so at the Japan Pavilion, they were making little origami hearts. So we made those, so I just added them into our book. And we had done Disney on Broadway, and this is who we had seen. So then just some writing and some more little stickers to fill some spots. Here we had gone to Oga's Cantina at the studios, and so I always like to take their coasters, and I could actually use them as coasters, but I stapled them in. And as I said, this is the only time I use the staples in the book, and that's why I wouldn't bring my little mini stapler the next time. Again, I didn't have too much paper stuff to add in, so I just wrote what we were up to. Then Jim and I always like to go mini golfing, so I added that in. And then we attended the after hours party. So this time I actually used the staples again, but I just stapled the one side so I'd be able to see the back side of the pamphlet. Otherwise I could have got two pamphlets to see both. Here we changed rooms again, so I added the new map they gave us. Here is the Magic Kingdom map I put in, some more room keys. This is the Disney Springs map. Gemma and I did our photos, so I just added it in there. We went to the Festival of Arts again, and so I put the brochure again, and this time Gemma was there, and so we ate a lot. So I cut out all the things we ate and made little comments about what we thought about it. And I actually cut a stencil as a prize. So that was another time I used the pencil crayons for that. Now here, this was actually from the Festival of the Arts brochure. My pages, you probably won't be able to see it, but because there's the one up here that's really tight, but it's actually a little flip thing. And so he moves around. So I just put them all on the corners of all the pages going forward. Just thought it was cute. This was an artist we saw, some more food we ate, and we completed the little thing they had to get a free treat. Now we also did the Kid Cot, and so at each country you get this little sheet, and so I added all the sheets and then some extra stickers to all of it. Here's another artist that we got to meet again, and so I had her sign a couple of things, and I had about 4 of her postcards, but I only put a couple in. And then Gemma and I did Wilderness Explorers again, and so I just put some of the stuff from there. Animal Kingdom map. And then we had moved to Saratoga Springs, so I put that there. We have Bambi, we drew when we went to Animal Kingdom. Some more room keys. Then I moved to Wilderness Lodge, so this is the map of Wilderness Lodge. Oh, and these were some really cool gift cards. Can you see the thing that we got from the Haunted Mansion store? And so we bought those and used them, so I knew I had to include them in. I thought they were really cool. I got this little token when I was at Wilderness Lodge. And then I bought, I think it was just some socks, but I really liked, I thought Winnie the Pooh was so cute, so I added in some packaging. This was still during Festival of the Arts. We had done the little scavenger hunt, trying to hunt down the paintings in the different countries, so I included that. That's how I got that stencil. Again, a couple packaging pieces and some more stickers. Again, this was from packaging, but Marie is so cute. I included her. Gideon's is a bakehouse at Disney Springs that I went to, and so I put the bag there, and even though I did leave the cookies I bought in the fridge, and they never made it home. But anyway, you know, that happens. Then, just before I left, the Flower and Garden Festival started. So I had their new passport. I had a couple of stickers I got. I only tried a few of the food items because I was by myself at that point. I met Figment, and when you do, they give you this postcard. just again some packaging. And then I did the little scavenger hunt for the Flower and Garden Festival. And then we have my return ticket and a photo pass thing I had. And then I left this in here, and this was the actual passport. When you go to KidCot and they sign it for you and write little messages or draw pictures, it's a really cute activity to do. Here they wrote Gemma's name in Japanese, which is sort of fun. So I just added that in the pocket at the back. Now you would notice if you saw the other video, I did cut out a lot of those insert pages, and then there were more pages to the book I cut out. But even by cutting it all out, you can see like how thick the book got. This book is actually very heavy, and it was a bit of a weight, and I ended up just putting it in my carry-on the way home, even though I didn't have to. I could have put it in my suitcase because my suitcase still had 10 pounds it could have held. But anyway, I'm really happy I did this because, as I said, if I came home with all this stuff, there is no way I would have put it together here. So it's a good idea if you're going on a vacation to try and find a book, bring a little kit, and do this just each evening. I would do it in the hotel room before relaxing and going to bed. And then this way I felt like I came home and my trip was documented. I will still take all my photos and make a photo book, but at least all the little scraps and stuff I've made a home for.